NBL has certainly prepared this team to be right here in Oklahoma City tonight.
It is Steven Adams and Lowe at center court, and it's controlled by OKC. First offensive possession of the night. Adams goes right to the rim, and he gets
blocked that shot, and Steven Adams just plowed right through. Took the contact and finished.
I guess he didn't want to give up the easy dunk because it looked like Adams wanted to go for the slam.
Absolutely. He was wearing back on that one.
For the second consecutive game, it's Adams with the opening bucket for the Thunder. We'll step back there out of the hand of Webster.
He had been tipped by Shea on that shot as well.
Here is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. A nice debut for the Thunder on Tuesday. A couple of moves there to try to spring free, but a contested shot doesn't get up to the rim. And now it's Lowe running the floor, and that layup drops in. Robert Lowe played 4 years at St. Louis. He's an NBL veteran. One of the things that Billy Donovan touched on is see Terrence Ferguson on that catch and shoot. This New Zealand team, it's going to be a different style than maybe what NBA players are accustomed to. And as we see that nice cut, miss reverse layup there by Hobson, it is a different style and it does present some challenges.
That's right. You know, they play first, but how about that style right there? As Chris Paul showing you, he hasn't lost that step. Nice little jab and then blow by. Kind of had to pull back on the throttle a little bit to kiss it off the glass.
Hampton back outside, and Lowe tries to size up that three. There's Baisley down underneath for the OKC rebound.
I'll tell you, sometimes, you know, you look at Chris Paul as Shea lines up a three. Boy, that went down and out. He is so crafty with the basketball. Now, I'm speaking of Chris Paul. Now, I'll say the same about Dennis Schroeder as well. Has that ability to just turn on those afterburners. Ball poked away by Shea. Thunder in transition.
And Gilgeous-Alexander tried to set it up on a tee for Baisley, but it got deflected by Abercrombie. And in transition, there is Hampton, a little too strong. And here comes Chris Paul trying to set the break. That's the fast break 2019 as it's a three-point shot. Adams the rebound inside as nobody can contest with that size, and Adams able to finish it up.
No, he just said, it's my money and I want it now. He put it right where it needed to be. Took a little bit of contact, Mr. Adams did on that play. Had to bring that ball up from his ankles. Still got the job done.
You would expect Adams to have a big-time advantage, and Lowe again misses that shot from the outside, wide left.
He's got a nice stroke. And give him a little room out there until he starts to make a few shots.
Gilgeous-Alexander goes right to the cup. It was an aggressive move, and he's just not afraid to go to the rim. Not afraid to get inside, has all kinds of confidence in his game as that mid-range shot is in and out. But this is R.J. Hampton, the starting point guard. Many project him to be a lottery pick in next year's draft. And a nice drive with the left hand and the finish by Lowe. That's what Hampton is known for, his ball handling skills.
He's got a quick first step, can use that left hand and right hand.
Ferguson tees up that three and knocks it down from the corner.
And how about Tuesday night in his hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma, how well he came out in that second quarter and just started knocking down the three.
We saw that a ton last year. Ferguson, 36% from three, made over 100 on the season. And there is an answer right back by Robert Lowe. Henry is checked in the game for the Breakers. Now Adams with his back to the basket. Trying to get him some post moves. Going to work, using the size, slips. And tried that scoop layup, but he left it just a little bit short. Now Abercrombie in transition, goes right it out. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, no good. Both teams have missed some easy shots inside. Baisley spots up for three. Too strong, offensive rebound, and Adams
underneath or anywhere around it within 8 feet. You can give it up. You got to either foul him or let him do what he just did.
Well, you get the feeling that Steven Adams can gobble up rebounds. He did that on Tuesday night. There's really nobody for this Breakers team that can test with. It is 1 p.m., or I should say a little after 1 p.m. in New Zealand, 18 hours ahead. I'd like to welcome in everybody watching from down under. Nice play.
Time, 9 trips to the free throw line by Mr. Adams. It's a very productive start to the preseason. Back at it again here tonight against the New Zealand Breakers.
Well, we see Chris Paul operate this Thunder offense. Now Baisley passed up the three. That time a shifty move with a reverse layup, left it short. And it's saved out of bounds by Ashley. Well, Darius Baisley got the start tonight, working with this first unit, coming out, just the rookie, 19 years old. As Hampton wants to lob, backdoor. Ashley with the redirect at the apex. Nice play from Hampton to Ashley.
Oh, what a pass by R.J. Hampton as well. That pass was on time, on target.
Alexander went with the left hand, got his own rebound.
We saw that on Tuesday night in full display with those 24 points in limited action as well.
Just 21 years old, so much more room to grow. The Thunder excited about his development and what he's going to be able to contribute this year. Hampton maneuvering around, trying to create some offense for the Breakers. Then a step back, that's not really his shot. The rebound though by Lowe. Shot clock resets to 14. Henry wants the three, too strong, and we're going to get a loose ball.
Without the basketball.
It's going to be a scrappy group. You see these teams that come in and they're trying to prove a point, certainly showcase themselves as Adder Machuk on the lob finishes off the alley-oop. Adder Machuk, 6'11", showing some athleticism.
Good catch as well. Stayed very active on that high pick and roll.
You got future Hall of Famer going up against an 18-year-old, and Paul takes the jumper, and it's in and out. R.J. Hampton from Dallas, Texas, had the pick of the litter when it came to college opportunities. And a little similar play, and that time mishandled. And here come the Thunder. 2-on-2. Now Ferguson kicks it out to the open man. Three on the way. Baisley too strong, and Adams can't keep it alive. Good action.
All right, partner. How about the unselfishness? I thought Shea had a good chance to get to the bucket. He kicked it out to Baisley. He was wide open for that corner three.
Well, that's a good indication right there, and something that Billy Donovan was talking about in terms of the shot making of his Thunder team. Sometimes it doesn't matter whether it goes in. Sometimes it's about the shots that are generated, and they did pretty well there on that 3-on-2. Got it back outside. Baisley wants another three. That time a little bit short, but Adams right there to tip it back up and in.
And just using his size. I mean, Steven Adams is just a smart player. That's why he's always in one of the top 5 offensive rebounders in the league each year, just under 4 a game with plays like that. Just a great read on the basketball. To tip that ball in before anybody else can get a hand on it.
Adams off to another hot offensive start in the first quarter. He's got 8 points. Now Hampton going to his spread and butter on that drive. Excellent ball handling skills. There's Paul, little shake and bake, got caught in the air. Baisley, little stutter step, floats it up, and he pushes it off the glass. That's with the right hand. Darius Baisley. Mike, he missed his first 4 shots of the game, but certainly didn't seem to shake.
Great mentors to him so far in this training camp. There's so much running at you when you're a rookie in training camp. You're trying to learn offense, trying to learn defense, all while you're trying to adjust to your opponent as well. Ryan was saying, let's do one thing, but the feet were moving a lot faster. Officials right on top of it. Let's see if the Thunder can convert this turnover.
Dennis Schroeder, Deontay Burton in the game for the first time for the Thunder. There's a full steam ahead. Adams, though, kicks it out to an open Diallo. High arcing three. Just a little bit strong. So Hamidou Diallo on the floor. Terrence Ferguson, Dennis Schroeder, Steven Adams, and Deontay Burton. We should mention Danilo Gallinari and Andre Robertson not going to play tonight for Billy Donovan. How about Steven Adams running the floor, running the fast break?
On that ball, and just to make it go in from that angle. Very impressive.
Putting on a show for the hometown country, or I should say the hometown.
I like it when a big guy can go coast to coast like that. You know, there was a time when you used to go, oh no, give it up, give it up. No, we don't say that anymore now. We are starting to see that with consistency from bigs around the league that can make that play.
Basically hit the outlet as soon as you grab the rebound. As Hampton's floater a little too strong. Now the lob. Oh, Hamidou Diallo, usually so good in the air, had to readjust his body. Finally got the positioning and lays it up and in.
Did it look like he passed it to himself in the air? I mean, it's not a self-pass because, you know, the ball stayed, you know, he never dribbled the basketball. Well, that was a clever play.
Now the deflection and the steal. Schroeder adjusts and essentially screens Hampton himself. Started going to left side for the layup. Nice move by Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, that's just a vet, knows what he's doing. Knows that if he tries to go straight line drive to the basket, the taller defender could possibly block that shot. Just step right in front of him. Kind of broke his speed, and he laid it up off the glass.
10 in a row for the Thunder to expand the lead up to 12. Shot clock winding down. Has to launch. Well, short. That was a missed three. Now Diallo had ideas of taking flight. Instead, he's able to spin it home on the reverse.
Wow, just one pass in transition. Now the transition game is starting to create problems for the Breakers. One and done at the glass.
Now, this was a 2-point game just a couple of minutes ago as the Thunder have really swelled the lead. Shot clock winding down again. On the floor for Oklahoma City. You can see him there wearing that white headband.
He came in and gave the Thunder a big lift in that third quarter, knocking down a couple of threes and kind of calmed the nerves of the Thunder on the defensive glass, as he's such a good defensive rebounder as well, Mike Muscala.
Schroeder was feeling good enough to take that three. The Thunder slow start from downtown, just 1 out of 8 in the game. Ashley double teamed on the post. Sends it over to Hampton. Hampton shows that quick. Who, of course, is not going to be easily seen in the States because he decided to pass up.
And that's becoming a successful route for a lot of players. Current Thunder player Terrence Ferguson did the same. 1 year down in Australia playing in the NBL.
LaMelo Ball's going to do it as well this year. Diallo again on the drive, and another fantastic finish by Hamidou Diallo inside right before this.
33.
It was from New Zealand across to when they got settled in Memphis, and then that's, as you say, that's not even taking into account the time zone changing, getting your body clock sorted. So it takes a few days. I don't think that's an excuse now. They've been here for a little while. They've got 1 game under their belt, and I think they're ready to go.
Tell us about R.J. Hampton. I mean, everybody's talking about him. This is my first time going to look at him. I love his game. He's always under control. He's got quickness. I could tell he's got a shot. He's always getting his teammates involved. Tell us what you've seen in him as well.
I've seen a really composed, mature kid beyond his years. I mean, an 18-year-old kid coming halfway across the globe to lead a pro team of one of the top leagues in the world. And he's doing a really great job so far. They haven't played a regular season game back home yet. They'll head back to do that. But he's improved game by game. He looked a little overwhelmed the other night against the Grizzlies. His first experience on the NBA hardwood. But I think tonight, opening the game against Chris Paul, played the full bulk of minutes in that opening term. I think he's looked pretty good thus far.
Liam Santamaria, NBL broadcaster, joining us here in Oklahoma City. If you had to describe a certain style that is played down there, you mentioned Ben Simmons and some of these other players, Joe Ingles, that have been able to translate their game.
All of the above.
Kind of interesting talking with you before this game, and this New Zealand team is a lot like the Toronto Raptors in the NBA in that it's the only team outside of Australia. We call it the Australian National Basketball League, but then there's the New Zealand Breakers. So they're kind of the outsiders, I guess you could say. You got to go and bust out your passport, I'm sure, and going when playing New Zealand. So it's a little bit of a unique situation there, correct?
Yeah, they're the foreigners.
They're the foreigners.
It's fair to say.
Nobody likes going there? Is that how it is? Nobody
Well,
likes going to Toronto?
For sure. It's a tough place to win. And I mean, you guys have experienced it this year, right? With the Raptors winning your championship. Well, the Breakers have done that 4 times in their
It's
history.
older than 20 years old.
League's coming into its 42nd season. I think might have been a little generous there with the breakers, maybe a little less than that. But yeah, 9-team league, an expansion team come into the mix this year, a second team in Melbourne. 28-game regular season, 2 rounds of the playoffs, and teams play generally 1 to 2 games a week. But
Why not more?
well, I think in our marketplace, the Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights on TV, there's not as much pulling power for those spots. So we tend to play across the weekend, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoons, and teams might play a couple of games throughout that time. And I guess
Have such a nice run, but it's, you know, basketball, you've probably seen a lot of games. It's changed so much. How does your game compare to ours? But you brought up how physical it is, but you know, the pace that we play at, the way we try to move the ball. Everybody's talking about pace and space in the NBA these days. How does that factor?
Well, it's a great point, because there's a few elements of the NBA game and the NBA athletes that our teams really struggle with when they come over here. Talk about the length and athleticism and the quickness, obviously. But then the other big adjustment is the space. The spacing on the court. We talked about the three-point line being further out, defensive 3 seconds. And defensively, that's why one thing our teams find very difficult to adjust with when they come out here for just 1 or 2 games, and they come in at halftime and they go, oh, wow, I feel like I'm getting pulled from pillar to post. Defense.
The deal is Steven Adams. When he comes back home, he's got to be like the Greek god coming back to his homeland. And what a nice move there, right on cue. Steven Adams.
He's having a nice time out there tonight.
Nice. Got 12 points, but I assume that he's a big star here. I assume that his star shines even brighter down under.
Yeah, massive. Certainly in New Zealand especially, he flies the flag for the Kiwis over here. They would dearly love, as Hobson sticks that much needed 3, dearly love to see him pull on the national team jersey at some stage. They didn't get him in that action in the World Cup just recently. They're going to have to try to qualify for the Olympics next year through a bit of a repechage process, but yeah, he is.
I'm not, you know, I don't know a whole lot about rugby, but I'm a big fan. You know, I love the physical play, and I'm learning how the game works. As you know, you see Dennis Schroeder, a nice pass, but to the wrong guy. And how do you, you know, in a country where rugby is, you can't really say what's the sport of the United States? We can't say baseball, we can't say football, we can't say basketball, because we love it all.
Right.
But in a country where rugby is #1, what would be the number 2 sport?
In New Zealand,
With under 3 minutes left to go here in this second quarter, as the Thunder will run the offense through Steven Adams. As him and Schroeder been on the same page since last year. Adams at the end of the size advantage and used it with that nice baby hook shot over Brandon Ashley. But Steven Adams in this first half, he got 14 points on 7 out of 9 shooting.
And you see that shot right there? He does that shot on everybody. It doesn't matter if you're 6'2", you know, or you're 7'2". He just takes his time, he bangs into you, reads you, and then reacts to the contact and softly lays the shot up. I mean, I tell you, that is just a Steven Adams, you know, just perfect shot to describe him. He was so effective around the basket.
He was ready to gobble up that rebound, but Gilgeous-Alexander went against 2 defensive players. He's got Chris Paul with the steal. Now an open 3 for Baisley. He might have missed his first couple, but that time able to connect on the outside 3.
Well, you know, that's what I like about this team. There's so many different ways they can be effective, and we're just now starting to learn that. You have the 3-guard lineup in there right now that's really doing a lot of damage. But you got to also give credit to guys that came in like Mike Muscala, who's very effective on the defensive glass and taking out the 3.
There is Brandon Ashley, the former Arizona Wildcat, Bay Area native, trying to keep his NBA career hopes alive. As we get
on offense and defense, by really limiting the amount of 3-point shots that the Breakers have been successful at.
Baisley made 1, couldn't make it 2 in a row, but the weak side rebound to Adams. Got a little advantage, takes the bump and a...
To work your lineup and get ready for that opener on the 23rd of this month at Utah, folks. That's the season opener for the Thunder. Home opener would be on the 25th against the Washington Wizards.
So some extended time with SGA, Chris Paul, and Schroeder on the floor at the same time. It was an open look, but misfired as Chris Paul looks to get out on the break. Adams, then a focal point, and that nice left hand, but he left it short off the rim. Hampton got it outside, and how about Majuk knocking down the three?
I was watching him shoot before the game. He's got a nice stroke. He just showed you right there, folks. That was no accident. Shoot from that desirable spot as well at corner three.
The Thunder can essentially settle for the final shot of this first half. Just over a second differential. And SGA slithering his way to the rim, and it rolls off. Got an open look.
Afternoon in a blue-white scrimmage. Baisley, he did terrific. We saw him Tuesday night against the Mavericks, terrific. Tonight, a great, terrific third game here as well. We'll call this a second preseason game against NBA competition or professional competition. And the consistency is there. That's hard to do for a rookie.
Oh, what a great defensive play by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Swatted that out of the hands of Hampton. And then Muscala running the floor with the left hand. Can't finish it at the rim. And Hampton back the other way. So Hampton didn't start this second half, but now back out on the floor. There's an aggressive drive. Went to the rim. Missed it, but the follow dunk by Lowe. And a rare bucket for the Breakers.
That is just a beautiful move by Shai. Splitting the defense, getting by the primary defender, and then just catching up to the basketball to get by that help guy. There was just no one there when he got to the rim.
Mike, why is the jump from year one to year two so big, generally for NBA players?
Well, just like what I basically was talking about with Terrence Ferguson, you get the blues, the jitters in your first game. I think you have it the whole season. And there's so much coming at of no one, pretty much, and everybody's moving. So much is coming at you, the offense, the travel, trying to eat right, trying to get used to being in a new city. If there's so much going on for a rookie that I'm amazed that many of them are so successful as they are.
What is
in that first season?
So when you first enter into the league, I'm sure it varies from player to player, but what do you think generally is the harder transition to make, on the offensive end or the defensive end for players?
Oh, defensive, for sure. Because offense, that comes to you. I mean, there's so many ways that Shai gets to the bucket and can't finish with the left hand. There's so many, when the ball go up, instincts take over offensively, but defensively, man, you've got to read that. There's so many different defense. Like today, guys have to figure out how to play in a zone defense.
I think you're talking about structure. I mean, you can go out and play on the yard and work on your offensive game and work on free throws, but when you enter into a team and structure, there's certain assignments that you're responsible for.
It's very complicated. You have to know that.
Goodness, great dish. SGA down low. Gallinari on the bench getting the night off for the Thunder. So he played well in his Oklahoma City debut Tuesday night.
Well, he's got a good stretch of, days for the Thunder to play their next game on, I believe, next Tuesday night at Dallas. Game 3 of 4. Monday night. I stand corrected. So, he's get some practice days in, rest days in. Thunder have a pretty deep roster right now, so certainly whenever there's a veteran not playing, Paul, Dennis Schroeder, Gallinari, he's got all these guys that can help him continue to make that adjustment.
Well, him and Chris Paul have been doing a lot of shooting competitions in practice, and they both say that they're cleaning the other one out. They both say that they're winning. Who do you believe? Who are you going with?
I'm going with the vet, Chris Paul.
Deontay Burton, Abdul Nader. There are so many options as we see Burton on that turnaround shot for Billy Donovan. He's evaluating, seeing what these guys did over the summer and whether or not they can translate it into games.
Right. And when you have these games, everything's very serious. There's a serious preparation for it. Nice little pass that time by Hampton and a nice finish by Hobson. But, you know, nothing is wasted. Everything is taken, you know, just like living out. You ever watch the Discovery Channel as the scholar lines up a 3-ball? You ever watch the Discovery Channel? And there's these people living out in Alaska, out in the middle of nowhere, right? And it's called life below zero. They have to maximize and be efficient and use everything. That's how preseason is. You use everything and you try to learn and you try to grow from it. You use it to get you ready, you know, for your opener. Hey, cages can malfunction. You know, I mean, it's still, you know, being controlled by a man.
Well, the one thing they tell you, though, when you're in the cage is absolutely 100% keep all limbs inside. And if you reach out, you get pulled right out. How do we get on chart?
Guys like Diallo and SGA and Burton.
Well, the player development is the lifeblood of this Thunder organization. It is something that gets mentioned year after year. And you look at what this Thunder team has been able to do within the draft and developing various players, particularly in some of the big men, as Diallo's going to track down that miss, that loose ball, keep the possession alive for the Thunder, and he soars up to the rim, showing off that athleticism that we saw in the first half.
I mean, that's just unbelievable speed. I mean, you see that? He poked the ball away, and he turned on the afterburners to go get it, and he circled around the guy and went baseline and dunked it. Oh, that's a lot of energy. And that's how he is. That's what he plays with.
Boy, there's a nice burst of speed. How about the finish with the left hand by R.J. Hampton? One of the reasons why plays like that, Mike, that NBA personnel are thinking that he's a potential lottery pick.
Oh, absolutely. He is terrific. You saw him. Just hard drive to the basket, finishing with the left hand.
SGA, stutter step, and is not going to be able to slow that down as he blew right by the defensive player in Bogdanovic. Under a minute to go in this third quarter. Straight away, off target, and Justin Patton, the 7-footer, snatches away that rebound. As the Thunder have had the wind at its back all night long. Boy, how about that little stutter step? SGA, scoop, nice play. Quarter number 4. As Billy Donovan's going to dip into his bench a little further. Luguentz Dort is in. Abdul Nader takes that first shot of the fourth quarter, a little bit strong. So he goes with a lineup that features Justin Patton, Abdul Nader, Hamidou Diallo. As that shot was knocked in from the outside. The comfortable lead for the Thunder still stands at 30. Good to see Billy Donovan evaluate some of these other players, some of the younger players. As Dort got it outside to Patton, the 7-footer from the corner launches that 3. He's got a pretty good stroke.
Great battle between Nader and Dort to go after that offensive rebound.
Dort, nice move as he was able to shed Hampton.
Up and under. And a little step through at the end with the left hand. Not bad by the 19-year-old.
Well, Mike, we talk about the youth that is on this Thunder team and the potential development. Is the development in this organization has been such a focal point in the years. And developing guys at various positions. One of the core values of this organization.
You're right, and that's one thing the Thunder are known for, developing their talent, especially when they drafted a long line of successful players. And when you have such a young core group of guys and all of the draft potentials that you have, the future is very bright.
Dort not afraid to launch from the outside. Shot there, smooth stroke for the two-way player that was signed going into this season from Arizona State, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year season ago.
Nice little 5-0 run, modest 5-0 run by Lou Dort.
Didn't win into traffic. Right away, now Dort knocked it free. On his backside, takes it away, and the Thunder out of the fast break, and Amadou Diallo realizes numbers not in his favor.
Good patience here by the Thunder to get into a set and run a little motion offense.
Diallo turning around the defensive player, was wide open. Set up by Russ Batch.
Well, the thing right now is that the Thunder, they have so much athleticism on the floor. They're attacking. And that's going to stay for this entire game for Big Blue as well. They had 46 points at halftime in the paint. Right now sitting on 64 points. Just continue to open up that cut. Got him the big lead early.